Hawks win in OT on the greatest comeback of the year over the Florida Panthers. What a flipping game, boys. It was one game. If you missed it, you missed a game. The Hawks were down 2 goals 2 times tonight, and they came back and beat the Florida Panthers, and the Cat stuns the Cats with .8 seconds remaining in regulation to tie it. And let's get into this game right now. This was one hell of a game, boys. If you missed this Hawks victory over the Panthers, you missed a game. Honestly, I thought the Hawks were going to lose with how many times they went down 2 goals in it. They went down twice in this game. They came back once, tied it, then let in 2 goals, allowed the Panthers to score another 2 goals, tied it, and won it in frickin' overtime. It was one hell of a game. And honestly, if you missed it, you need to see the highlights from the game, because this was one great game. And I was watching this a lot. I watched the entire game, and I was at work. I had the game streaming when I was at work, and it was awesome. A great way to make work go fast. Hawks win 5-4 over the Florida Panthers. And to start off the game, the Hawks came out dead. They looked like they actually played the back-to-back, and the Panthers did not. The Hawks allowed the Panthers to put up 2 goals in the first period, and the first goal came 5 minutes and 48 seconds into the first period on the power play by Mike Hoffman, who's been red hot for the Florida Panthers this season. I admit that. Hoffman's been great for the Panthers. That's been their best thing for them for a long time. And at 13:40 in the first period, Jarek McCann scores his 3rd goal of the season, and right there I honestly thought, yeah, this Hawks team, knowing how they are, they aren't going to make much of a good effort into it. Well, holy crap, I was wrong. Hawks flippin' made a turnaround and came into the second period with a determination to tie it. At 49 seconds into the second period, the oddest line Jeremy Colleton had out there tonight, with Nick Schmaltz, David Camp, and Dominic Cahoon all on the same line. In my opinion, that was one weird line, but they got the scoring off for the Hawks. 49 seconds into the game, David Camp scores to make it a 2-1 game. The assist went to Cahoon and Forsling, and the scoring started for the Hawks. So let's keep it going. At 5:34 in the second period, Patrick Kane ties the game by tipping in the goal by a great pass by Brandon Saad. A pass that will make any power forward happy, because it was a thing of beauty. And the other assist went to Gustav Forsling. Forsling having a 2-point night. Well, that's a great game for Forsling, right? Well, Hawks ties the game at 2 at that point at 5:34 in the second period, and honestly, I thought we had a game going. Now then, after I said that, the Panthers scored again, and Aaron Ekblad scores his 4th goal this season, and the assist went to Hoffman and Danadov. That's actually how you pronounce Dadanov's name, Danadov. And that made it a 3-2 game. So still a close game. Cam Ward's playing solid. That was a just a one time at how Ekblad scored the goal. Panthers won the faceoff over Jonathan Toews. Got a quick cycle going. Hoffman had the puck over on one end of the ice of the circle and got a great sauce pass over to Ekblad, and Ekblad one tees it off and scores to make it 3-2. So, at 11:30 in the second period, the Florida Panthers score again to make it 4-2, so the Hawks were down 2 goals yet again. Knowing the Hawks, when they do that this season, their luck really has been bad. They've been terrible at making comebacks in games, and they made a comeback. Frank Veteran, I believe that's how you pronounce his name. I can't remember. I always have a problem with that guy's name. I watch the Panthers whenever the Hawks are not on TV, but because they're actually my second favorite team. I've actually enjoyed the Florida Panthers, even though they also suck this season. And so he made it a 4-2 game. At the end of 2, the Hawks were down by 2 goals. So in the third period, knowing the Hawks, they aren't that good on making comebacks, and you guys know that this season, they've had issues with that. But at 9:52 in the third period, Alexander Fortan steals the puck from Nick Bjugstad on the short-handed unit and scores. And the Panthers were arguing the goal because they thought Fortan kicked the puck in. But good goal. Hawks made it a 1-goal game again. So Hawks were down 4-3. So if I was live streaming knowing this, I would say we probably still lost because, in my opinion, I said it's going to be really hard that we are going to make a comeback. This roster this year hasn't had that type of spark this year. But, oh boy, I am flipping wrong tonight. Alex DeBrincat with 0.8 seconds remaining in regulation ties it to get his 10th goal of the season. And it was Hawks had empty net. Hawks getting a great cycle in the offensive zone. 6-on-5 for the game, to end the game. Brandon Saad feeds. Patrick Kane passes the puck over to Saad. Saad feeds Alex DeBrincat right in the slot, and DeBrincat gets it right in the 5-hole on James Reimer with 0.8 seconds remaining in regulation. And holy crap, you could start hearing "Let's Go Hawks" chants, and the stadium blew up in Hawks fans in Florida after the Hawks tied it and forced overtime. So, Kane had a 2-point night tonight. Saad had a 2-point night tonight. Alex DeBrincat gets the game-tying goal. The cat stuns the Cats. So, in overtime, Eric Gusterson, the player a lot of Hawks fans are known to not care for on his defense, but is put out there with 2 minutes and 32 seconds remaining in the overtime with Nick Schmaltz and David Camp to end the game. Eric Gusterson shoots the puck between the 5-hole of James Reimer, and Hawks win it in OT. This game was insane. The cat stuns the Cats with .8, and by then I knew the Hawks would win the game because usually teams who stuns teams that late in regulation to force OT usually wins. So I knew the Hawks are going to have all the momentum on their side and win this hockey game. And it happened. Let's get into this shots. In the first period, the Hawks actually had 9 shots, as it shown into the goal category, because the Panthers scored 2. The Panthers put on 16 shots on Cam Ward, and Ward played a solid game. He may have let in 4 goals, but what do you expect with Ward? That seems to be his average this year, but he actually plays a solid game. It's just our defense is just weak, in my opinion. So the Hawks had 9 shots to the Panthers 16 in the first period. So in the second period, the Panthers put up an 18 to the Hawks 10 in the second period. So the Panthers were out shooting the Hawks quite a bit by then. Hawks only had 19 shots going into the third period. But in the third period, the Hawks started getting their skating legs and started shooting the living crap out of the puck. The Hawks had 18 shots to the Panthers 4. And going into overtime, Hawks had a total of 4 shots to the Panthers 0. Hawks ended up out-shooting the Panthers 41 to 38. So closely contested on shots. Even though the first 2 periods were all Panthers side, it shows. In my opinion, these are the stars of the night. Eric Gustafsson gets the first star of the night for the OT winner because getting the OT winner, you usually get the first star of the night, in my opinion. Second star of the night, Alex DeBrincat, with tying the game with .8 seconds remaining. And then our third star of the night, I will give it to a tie. So split it between Patrick Kane and Gustav Forsling. Forsling having a 2-point night. For a defenseman, that's a solid game. Patrick Kane getting a game-tying goal, and an assist on the game-tying goal. He deserves a star too. So split the third star with Kane and Forsling. It's well deserved. Hawks winning 5-4 brings momentum. This is how a team gains momentum after having a big comeback victory. Teams tend to build on that, and they should build on it going against the Vegas Golden Knights on our next game. I want to say on Monday, if I'm not mistaken. It could be Tuesday. It's on Tuesday at the United Center. The Hawks need to build momentum from this victory over the Florida Panthers. I know the Panthers aren't good this year, nor are the Hawks, but a team can build chemistry and momentum in a big comeback victory like this. And I won't be surprised the Hawks keep it going on Tuesday night. This was one game. If you missed it, you missed a great game. I'm sorry, I've said this several times, but it was one fun game, and for being a Hawks fan, seeing a great comeback victory like this, it reminds you kind of the good days, dynasty era. But with us kind of out of our dynasty era and kind of in a rebuild, retool time, those are games to remember. And this is a game to remember being a Hawks fan. I have to say that. You will never, you honestly need to remember this game. It was one great game. But let's get you guys out with a great way to leave. So leave a comment down below. Who's your 3 stars of the night? And leave your comment down also on what's your thoughts on this great game by the Chicago Blackhawks and their great comeback. And thank you for watching the broadcast. I know you enjoyed the outcome. The Hawks win 5-4 over the Florida Panthers. And please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And most of all, let's go Hawks!